Hello, everyone, and welcome back to List Building Daily Tips. And over the last few days, we've been talking about how list building is just critical to your business building. List building is business building. Hi, I'm Natasha Mitchell. I'm a business consultant and the creator of the Simple Business Method. And I'm here with my colleague, Nancy Fields. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, I'm Nancy Fields, and I'm a graphic designer who works with a lot of business coaches.
Yeah, and today we also have a special guest, Steve Hendon from Practice to Business, and we're going to be talking to Steve about his experience with some of the tips we're talking about today. But before we jump into asking Steve how he's used some of these tips, let's just set the stage a little bit. We've been talking the last few days, and yesterday in particular, one way to start building the list is to really get clear on two questions: what I'm selling and what problem I solve that makes my clients' lives better. And, you know, we as coaches, consultants, product owners, we think we know the answer to that, and we do to some extent, but it doesn't always mean that our customers are looking for us with the same words that we would use to describe ourselves. Wouldn't you say that's true, Nancy?
Yes, and it was so interesting working with Steve because Steve has been a customer of mine for a few years. In fact, we did his second website 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, and as he evolved in his business, the words that he is using, well, there's actually two issues that can come up. If you're in business a long time, if you don't watch it, you begin to use your own internal language that people don't get. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is also your business evolves so that as you know your customer better, you know what they need. And so then you're matching the words that you know that they need to the words that they're looking for.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And thanks, there's a few people joining us live. Thanks for joining us live. Feel free to leave a comment as we go along, or if you're watching this on the replay, just put hashtag replay and ask us your question. We'll be happy to answer. So Nancy, just started to touch on this. When we're creating content or free offers or courses or anything, we want to be giving people what they want. And particularly if you're starting out and you don't have a big list, but even if you've been in business for a while, like Steve, it's not always easy to get engagement from people to even, we've heard like, let's ask a survey or ask people what they want. People are not always engaging in that. So there's actually a really powerful tool that's free, that's available to us, that has all the answers that we're looking for. And Nancy's going to share that with you today. And you might be surprised, but it's really got some gold in there. So Nancy, why don't you do the big reveal and tell everyone what I'm talking about?
Well, it's google.com. And the first page. And so I would just love to have Steve tell us his experience in using this search tool that in a way just seems so basic. And I think he got a few ahas out of this.
Yeah, and Steve, before you dig into that, why don't, just so people know what you do, why don't you let people know in a couple of sentences, what do you sell and what problem do you solve for people that makes their life better?
Okay, well, thank you. And thanks for letting me be here today. I am a business and executive coach. And so primarily what I sell is coaching, or the ability to work with people, but also use a lot of assessments to help me in that process. And I have found that as my practice has evolved, that I do not only work with a lot of business owners, but a lot of executives. And in both worlds, we're working with people to develop their leadership skills. So it's leadership development. And as they develop their leadership ability and their skills, hopefully it does make their life better. And, that's leadership development is such a broad term.
Right.
What does that really mean?
Yeah, and that's definitely what we found when we were working with you and we started having these discussions. And, I think that's the great segue into then knowing that was such a broad term. And Nancy showed you how to use the Google search in a different way. What did you discover when you started searching and using that tool to try and find out more what your clients were searching for?
Well, first of all, I was surprised that such a robust tool with so much information was totally free. And when you get on Google, you know, the methodology that you showed, or the sequence of going in there and putting in what you think that you want to search out, but then it leads you on several different paths to kind of dig deeper. And then Google gives you some beautiful data on just how popular or how robust a particular word or phrase is in terms of what people are looking for. And of course, y'all were able to help me understand, you know, also that zone in there, you know, that if it's too low, then there's clearly nobody looking for what you want to put something out on, and in which case, why bother? But also the fact that if you've got something that is just so incredibly popular that everybody's doing it, then you're a small fish in a huge ocean. But finding that zone where the words match up and people are saying, "Hey, I want more information about this," you know, it really targets like a laser to the people that you want to reach.
Yeah, I think that's, and Nancy, you know, you are doing this all the time and helping people with their websites. What would you like to add to what Steve has just mentioned there?
Well, it was very exciting to see Steve come up with a topic that not only he was excited about, but he knew that his customers were looking for. Because search is one of these things that you start, and sometimes you have to just keep re-examining the words you're using. And then the other thing is, and then finding the words, which also Google is telling us. Google tells us exactly the words that people are using to find out what they are looking for. And it's their words. So then you look that way and you say, well, gee, then you can ask yourself, is this what I want to talk about? And so Steve, lucky for him, very quickly said, yeah, this is exactly what I want to talk about. And oh, someone's written an article about this. And so then it was, you know, so tell us then from there how you then found your topic, Steve.
Well, as I went through there, I realized that there were a lot of topics that were close, but they were not really what I wanted to focus on. And ultimately, you know, a lot of the information and the resources I had and what I'm certified to work in, you know, we were able to really pinpoint the word effective leadership. And apparently there are a lot of people that are looking for what are the key elements of effective leadership. And you know, mine ended up being the 4 crucial skills you need for effective leadership. And so it's, but yet in those words and in that resource, there was a lot of data that people could take, and you asked earlier about how that helps people's lives be better. I think it helped to also define for people what leadership development really is and what it can be. And how to focus on what's most important for you at any given time. Because when you think about leadership development, where do you start?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the whole thing. And I know when we worked with you through this, it was exciting for me to be able to see the progress and how quickly you were able to progress from, you know, I have this very broad idea and you know, it's a bit much for people to get their hands around to, I could get a very specific, and, you know, we talk a lot about niching, but I could get this very specific topic that people were looking for and that you were offering. And so there was that complete alignment there. And, you know, Nancy and I are going to be talking next week more about what a free offer is, how to build your free offer, how to deliver your free offer. But today we really just wanted to share Steve's experience with using these amazing free and powerful tools. And I think, you know, this is the big takeaway. You know, we as the experts, we think we know what people need. Nancy says this so beautifully, but just because we think we know what they need, it isn't what people want. And when we can marry that need and that want together, that's when the real magic happens. That's when people will want to get on your list. They'll want to download your content, and that's where the business building magic happens. Nancy, yes, go ahead, Steve.
One important thing is using this system. I actually found what I was looking for in about 15 or 20 minutes. Because I was so curious about it, I spent an hour and a half on there, and I kept coming back to what I found very quickly. So I think that's important for people to know that you're able to spot, what's right for you pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you coming and joining us. Nancy, is there anything you would like else to add to that?
Well, I'm excited to see what other free offers that Steve's going to be coming up with, because Steve has many degrees or many certifications in coaching. And he also loves the whole psychology behind it. So we didn't even go there at this moment. That's a whole nother area that Steve can go down. But knowing how to do this and focusing on one area is really the key to the people who he wants to work with will be attracted to his free offer.
Yeah.
Thank you. So get out there, start getting clear on what you are selling and what problems you solve, and then start using Google search to try and make that match up. And we'll be talking a lot more about that in the coming weeks as we share more daily tips and more real life examples of our clients and friends and colleagues who are putting this into practice and having great results. And Nancy and I are also putting together a brand new course, which we'll be talking about in the next week or so, where we can going to be able to hold your hand and take you through all of this. So thanks for joining us today. Leave your questions and comments about anything about list building. We'd love to hear from you. What are the key topics that you think your clients are looking for, and join in the conversation. And we'll be back again tomorrow. And Nancy, it's going to be a whole live Q&A session. So we would love to hear your questions, and we'll be going to answer them for you. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye-bye.